So what is the end goal? What is your goal? What is your end goal? Because I know from growing up from a really young age, I was always driving towards like being shredded all the time, being really lean, and looking at all these magazines and Men's Health and Men's Fitness and Flex and all these crazy magazines, and thinking that that was the end goal, thinking that that was the goal that I wanted to achieve, and that's where I wanted to stop. And obviously, as I've progressed through life and now understand, a lot more about dieting and nutrition and physiology and and all this stuff towards that type of creation, I now realize that for most people, like being shredded consistently, like all year round, is just not attainable. And it's it's kind of important to have those expectations from the start, understanding that that you're probably not going to be able to walk around at like 6, 7, 8% body fat all year round. Not unless you want to feel terrible all the time and be starving hungry all the time, because that's what happens. That's what it creates when you get to a certain level of body fat. What I've heard described as your body fat set point. Once you go below that, you activate your body's self-defense system. So it starts releasing hormones to make you aggressively hungry. Because think about it, if you keep dieting and dieting and dieting and dropping body fat, eventually you'd die. Eventually you'd starve to death. You'd just have too little body fat around your organs, and eventually you would starve to death and you would die. So the eventual goal for me, what I then realised is, right, I need to really shift my focus and be like, right, well, how lean do I want to be? How much muscle do I want to have? How much body fat essentially do I need to have for the most part? And that will differ from person to person. Like, some people can walk around all year round and be like 6-7% body fat. Some people can, but it's probably like 1 in 300 people or something. It's typically with people with a higher, quicker metabolism that can do that type of stuff. So for me, I changed my focus and I was like, right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hover around being like 5 to 10 pounds of body fat, like above where I'm really lean, above like being shredded. So if I can stay around that, if I can stay 5, 10, 15 pounds above that, then the next time I want to get really lean, the next time I want to get shredded, it makes things a whole lot easier. I'm not trying to shift like 30, 40, 50 pounds of body fat, which might take me a good 6 months. I can then cut down, I can then get a six pack if I want to and be loads leaner, just in probably 12 to 14 weeks, something like that. So I think that's super important. It's a lesson that I learned. Hopefully you'll take that on board and change your mindset around it. However, I do say that, but if you're a guy, I can almost guarantee that at some point you do want to get a six pack, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with wanting to have visible abs. There's nothing wrong with wanting to be shredded, and I personally think that everybody should do it. Everybody should have that goal at some point. All right. So I've actually just come out for a walk with the dog, and it's just absolutely started hammering it down. So I've just took some cover under the tree as well. It calms down a little bit. All right. Hopefully that helps. Anyway, chat soon.